Hey guys, what is up? It's munclesonkey and welcome to a new video. So in this video I decided to test out the Cadarn Rangers really to see how much XP and GP they are per hour. Disclaimer, I did not do this on Slayer task. I was not trying intentionally to check out the Slayer XP per hour, and the reason for that is I made this mistake at Muzzpuzz. I made a Muzzpuzz Slayer video when they first came out when they're like 260k XP an hour, and then the day that I was going to upload it, Jagex nerfed the XP, so I'm not going to make that same mistake again. Yes, these things are ridiculous Slayer XP. You can get up to around 250k XP an hour, even though obviously it doesn't take an hour to do a task, but I highly imagine that's not going to be the case for long, because these are quite OP at the moment during Slayer task. However, a lot of people do need to kill them for the comp cape requirement. I still see a lot of people there killing them because of that, camping them, or just on Slayer task if you want the general idea of how to kill them. This is the guide for you. And I also tested out the overall XP and GP, what you can expect of picking up drops. Obviously, if you're not picking up drops, because there's a lot of people that just leave everything on the ground, expect a little more XP than this. So before we get into the gear setup and all, I just want to say thank you to this guy for suggesting this video, because I would not have made it without your suggestion. So thanks a lot, and this video will probably be a lot better today than what I could have thought up on my own. So let's get into the gear setup, and I'll show you guys exactly what you can expect from killing these. So for the gear setup, I would recommend melee, and the reason for that is because we will be focusing on the Cadarn Rangers. I would not recommend killing the mages because they use the asphyxiate ability on you a lot, and it stuns you for a really long time, and it's incredibly annoying. So you really just want to kill the Rangers. Also, if you have Ascensions or a Noxious Longbow, you can have pretty good accuracy on the Rangers as well. So if you'd prefer the range XP over the melee XP and not having to run around so much, I suppose, go ahead and range. It's about the same XP rate if you're going hard with either style and power armor and overloads and turmoil and all that. So I'm just wearing bandos here with steadfast boots and Barrow's gloves, Drygores, Slayer helm. Of course, if you're on Slayer task, you're going to need that. If not, you can wear a bandos helm or something like that. And then I use the penance aura here. Vampirism can work okay as well if you're a lower level or are not using overloads or something. You could use the extra healing. And then in the inventory, I have a couple overload flasks, a couple renewal flasks, a whole bunch of prayer pots, as I will be soul splitting and turmoiling this whole task. I have a yak with more prayer pots in it and a couple emergency food just in case, but you probably won't need it. And some yak scrolls. The only rune items that these guys drop is rune crossbows, so you can bring a spring cleaner for those if you'd like, but there's not a whole lot of stuff that they drop that is spring cleanerable, so that's really up to you. So what I did for the Cadarns is I did a full hour of just killing the Cadarn Rangers as best as I could. Every once in a while it can be a little annoying because I think there's only 5 spawns on this little island that I am on right here, so I had to kill a couple mages here and there, and let me tell you, I killed like 5 mages during this hour. Not a whole lot, so I don't have too much to complain about, but out of those 5 mages that I killed, I think 4 of them asphyxiated me, which means that you can't do anything for like a solid 6 seconds or so. It's the most annoying thing in the world. Just do not kill the mages. They are completely awful. So just focus on the Rangers, which unfortunately means that you have to get yourself a world. There's only a room for 2 people, one person that's going hard and one person that isn't quite going as hard up on the northern part of these 2 little islands, which does mean that these can get crowded because there are people going after that completionist cape requirement still. Heck, I'm still going after the completionist cape requirement. I have a few left to kill. I'm very, very nearly there because I've done almost 3 hours of these and they're about 350 kills an hour, but 1 hour I was slacking a bit, so I probably have like 50 to 100 kills still to go out of the Cadarns, but I'll get that done the next elf task that I get, no problemo. However, you just want to focus on killing them as fast as possible. Just remember to use Berserk, or if you decide to range, if you have your Ascensions or Noxbow and you're really proud of the fact that you have them and you want to use them as much as possible, go ahead, and those will work okay too. Just remember to use Death Swiftness as much as possible as well. And also, the other thing that I can say, please don't crash people. I was crashed a couple times. It's not that big of a deal because I know everyone has to kill Cadarns and it's really hard to find a world sometimes. It wasn't that hard, it only took me a few hops, but please don't crash people because it's frustrating. Just be considerate of other people. Everyone has to kill Cadarns. Everybody wants to kill Cadarns. They're not the best XP or anything, but they're, unless you're on Slayer task course, then they're absolutely wonderful, comparable to Glaciers even, Slayer XP wise. But just focus on them as much as possible. And of course, I was running around picking up all the drops, so if you decide not to do this and you just want to go completely 100% hardcore and not even worry about picking up drops at all, you can expect a few more kills an hour than I got. However, I think it was worth it. Also, if you might notice in my inventory there, I managed to pick up not 1, but 2 crystal Triskelion fragments. So I don't know if I just got really lucky, or since these are elves and crystal stuff is kind of like an elven thing, that they have a higher drop rate for Triskelion fragments than normal monsters. Either way, though, that is pretty cool. They also dropped Sirenic Scales. I didn't manage to get any, but from what I've been hearing, you can get about 1 Sirenic Scale on average per hour, which is pretty good because that's like a 360k drop. Loot overall is pretty decent. Like for a Slayer task, a lot of times Slayer tasks aren't really the best money. This one is pretty decent. You're not going to make absolute bank here, but you'll see just in a minute exactly what I make, and I think this is a really good Slayer task, and maybe even one that you'd want to prefer, at least for as long as this Slayer XP craziness that's going on right now lasts. I would definitely say put this on your prefer list. So in 1 hour of Cadarns, I managed to get 297k XP, which is quite good, especially because that is without Slayer Helm bonus. So with that Slayer Helm bonus, you would get even more XP, maybe up into around the 340-ish K range, which is pretty good for combat XP. Of course, that is attack plus HP, and that equates to 363 kills, which means the 1,000 kills for the comp cape requirement is going to take you about 3 hours if you're going hard and kind of following this method. And in total, I managed to pick myself up 2.67 mil in loot, and that is without any Sirenic Scales as well. However, I did get lucky instead with the crystal Triskelion pieces, and as you can see, the charms really not all that amazing. 71 crimsons and around 30-ish blues, so you're not really doing this for the charms, but the loot is, I would say, a little bit slightly above average Slayer task wise. XP is quite good, and it only takes 3 hours for this comp cape requirement, so get her done. Anyway, thanks for watching this video, guys. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, and farewell.
We'll be right back.